Hey there guys, so welcome back to my channel. I know I've already done a Teddy Get Ready With Me where I said goodbye to 2019, but I wanted to do another video reflecting on my year. So this year for the first time I tried out something new. I had one of those daily calendars from Simon's Cat, and obviously it's gone now. And every day when I would rip off this little sheet, I would write something on the back that made me happy the day before. So I am here today with 22 of these little sheets to tell you about the most beautiful, cool, fun days I had in 2019. So we're gonna share some happy memories and also one sad memory, but my cat's giving me a stink eye right now. That looks hilarious. So let's get into this because I just want to have something to look back on when, maybe 2020 is over, which we all can't imagine right now, but it will happen eventually. So yeah, let's get into those 22 days. 15th of January, Lord of the Rings 1 in cinema. Now, during January last year, they brought back all the Lord of the Rings movies into cinema. And since I'm not that old, I actually haven't seen the first and the second movie in cinemas. So that was the first time for me. So I got tickets for all three movies. I went there by myself, which is how I like to enjoy my Lord of the Rings movies. And it was just a freaking fun time. Like, it was so great to see like my favorite world on screen 3 times in a row. It was amazing. And yeah, that made me very, very happy in the beginning of the year. 24th of January, Skype date, birthday cake. Now that is my birthday, and on that day I had the first and only Skype date with my partner. As you may know, last year he was in a different country and we hadn't seen each other for about, I think, 4.5 months, 5 months at this point. And I just didn't know whether I would survive a Skype date or whether that would just hurt so much more, not being able to be with him, but to see him. So that was the only time we did that, and it's a special memory. And also one of my colleagues made me a birthday cake, which was super delicious, so that stuck in my mind as well. 2nd of February, How to Train Your Dragon social movie night with friends. Now, there is a German movie channel, Robert Hofmann is the guy who runs it, and he does something called social movie nights where they invite a ton of people to watch a movie. You have free popcorn, stuff like that. There's always a huge deal, and usually they're very far away from where I live. But last year there was one very close to where I live, and I actually won tickets, and I also got the message that I'd won them on my birthday, which was amazing. So I was able to go with my friends and it was super cool. We went there by train, we watched the movie, we saw some celebrities, like minor celebrities and stuff. It was really cool, and it's a nice movie. It was the 3rd one, and yeah, we had previously watched all the other 2 together, so it was just a fun time. 8th of February, the long-awaited reunion. So on the 8th of February, I actually arrived in Tanzania and I met up with my partner there. So we saw each other again after about 5.5 months, I think, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it was amazing. I mean, these are things that you know from movies and such, so I really had no idea what to expect. And I thought maybe I would start crying, maybe I would completely break down. I don't know. I was like, what's gonna happen? The truth is, since being on a plane for pretty much, I don't know, 12 hours, I had a super weird long flight there. I was pretty okay. He was shattered though. I remember, the thing is, the airport in Dar es Salaam, you don't have like a hall where you meet. It's just you come out of the airport and then there's the people waiting. So he was outside that door and I had to wait for like customs and such for quite a while before I could go out, and it was such a weird feeling. And I remember getting out of those doors and seeing him just kind of cracking, like he had to sit down for a while, but I was pretty much prepared since I had such a long way there. 16th and 17th of February. More cats, baby lions, and a peeing rhino, and more elephants. This was the weekend we spent on safari, and we went to the Ngorongoro park, and that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, to this day, I think about this. It was absolutely amazing. If you ever get to travel to Africa, go to that place. I'm just so much more happy in my life knowing that there is a place like that that still exists, because you would think in a world that we live in, that there's humans, that there wouldn't be such a place anymore. It was just magical. It was amazing. Really, really amazing. 20th of February, spa time. Now this was when we were in a very luxurious hotel on Zanzibar and we had a lovely massage. It was so good, and it was raining that day, and I remember after that massage we sat down in this little bench and we were watching the rain while we were, you know, under a little rooftop, but still outside kind of, and it was just the most relaxed I've been all year, I guess. So yeah, that's an amazing memory as well. Now comes the one sad memory. 27th of February. Goodbye, Tony. And that is actually the day, or rather the night, that my cat died while I was on a plane coming home. And I could still cry thinking about that, so I'm just not gonna do that. I'm gonna move on, okay? 21st of March. How do you say that in English? A new contract, kind of? So, my job that I do, I only ever have contracts for a very limited amount of time. So my first one was 2 years, and that was running out in April this year. So, the end of March, I got a new one, so I can stay another 3 years. So I still have 2 years of contract now, which is cool. 23rd of April. New bike. So I guess this year was a year of endings and beginnings. Now my old bike, it wasn't running anymore. Like, it was definitely broken. So in April, when the weather turned nice again, I bought a new bike and I'm very happy with it. Right now it's in its protected shelter because the weather is horrible. It's super cold. But I'm excited for maybe April when I can start riding my bike again to work and such. Because the city where I live, it's very bike friendly. So yeah, having a bike here is amazing. 27th of April, Chiara moves in. Now on that day I found my new cat. Actually I found it the day before it. It was a little bit of a weird process. I will do a video about it eventually, I promise. But yeah, at the end of April last year, Chiara, my new cat, moved in here, and she's an 11-year-old cat, black with a little bit of white, and she is a cuddle bear. Like, she likes her cuddles. She also needs her time alone, but not that much of it, to be honest. And she was very, very lucky because I had 2 weeks off now after Christmas, and she enjoyed that a lot. Like, she doesn't like to be alone at all. 26th of May. This actually is something that has nothing to do with me. The Green Party, if you want to call that, won pretty big for the European election. And that was not only happening in Germany, but in many countries. The parties that are associated with protection of animals and protecting the climate and the environment and stuff like that. They won a lot of people over, so they had quite good votes. So yeah, that was cool as well. Sometimes I just don't know how to say things in English, I'm sorry. This is funny, 4th of July, I didn't even think about that. There was a festival in my hometown, and that was all about, you know, not letting right-wing parties win. It was a quite left thing, festival. I can't talk anymore, but we went there, we had tons of good food, we listened to the music, and it was a really good time. And yeah, that was pretty cool. 18th of July. First English presentation on a conference done. So, as you may know, I went to Zagreb last year for a conference, and I had to have my first English presentation on a conference ever. Before that, I had German presentations or English posters, but never an English presentation. It went okay. I wasn't too happy, but it also wasn't terrible. So yeah, I'm glad I have that checked off my to-do list. 27th and 28th of July, I won Booktubeathon. No, the Reading Rush. I still haven't gotten used to the new name, but I was hesitant whether I wanted to participate in it or not, but then I did it and I loved it and I won it. I even finished 8 books during Reading Rush this year, which was great. 3rd of August. How do you call that? School reunion? Like, this year in the summer, I was 10 years out of school, which is crazy. Really crazy. So we had a little reunion, we met up. There wasn't like a ton of people there, but still it was good fun. And yeah, it was just a lovely evening seeing people again that I haven't seen for 10 years. Amazing. Pretty crazy as well. 17th and 18th of August. Leaf visiting and city tour. So that was when one of my friends came here for the first time. No, not the first time, that's not correct. She was here for my birthday, but we didn't really get to do a lot. And then she came back with her partner for the weekend and we did some city touring. We walked a couple of places and we ate and drank and had a lovely time. And I was just so happy that she was able to visit me here because up until the beginning of last year, she was actually living in Ireland. So yeah, she moved back to Germany and that gave her the chance to visit me and I enjoyed that a whole lot. Okay, I had a roll here. 3rd of September, I wrote the first official page of my dissertation, which is pretty late because I don't have a lot of time anymore and I am definitely running out of time, but that's something I want to be working on for the next year like crazy. I really want to catch up and write. And so yeah, having the first page written is always the first important step. 4th of September, It double feature in cinemas. So as you might have seen, I have reread It by Stephen King this year in preparation for the second movie coming out, and they ran a double feature in my cinema. So I decided to go. It took until 2 in the morning, but yeah, I enjoyed it a whole lot. Like seeing both movies right one after the other was very, very good. And it really helped to appreciate the first, no, not the first movie. The first movie was great. The second movie a lot more, because I think they only make sense together. You can watch the first movie and like it, but watching the second one without the first is just not how it works. 28th of September, Cluedo and pumpkin pie. This is something I did twice this year. I invited some friends to play Cluedo, and it's just one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game. And I had it for such a long time just lying around, because you usually need a couple more people to play it. So yeah, I was super happy to be able to play this with a couple of friends. Also, the first pumpkin pie of the season is the best. I love my pumpkin pie, so that was great as well. 11th of November, Zombieland. I think I have not laughed out loud in a film so many times in cinemas. It was amazing. Zombieland 2 is such a good film, especially if you're in a bad mood, and sometimes I just need that. So yeah, I remember just being so happy watching that movie that I wanted to mention it, even though it might not be the most important thing, but it made me happy. 14th of December, Stollen, baking, and getting a new car. So on this day, I went out to drive my new car for the first time to, try it out. And then also we did all the paperwork for it, which took forever, but we got it done. And so I'm soon gonna get a new car, and I hope it will be a good time. We'll see about that. And now the last one, 28th of December. I went to an escape room for the very first time for the birthday party of a good friend. And that was really fun as well. I had never been to an escape room before, and my partner was actually really good at it. Like, he had an eye for so many things. Like, we went into the room and the first thing he looked at was the fucking first clue. It was amazing. And we definitely had a roll. We were so quick. We even had time left when we got out of the room. So that was such a fun experience, and I can definitely see myself doing that again in the future. Now, these were just some moments that brought me joy last year. Obviously, there's bigger things, smaller things, but I just like the experience of writing it all down and then also of going through it now. And I realized that a lot of stuff that brings me joy are like everyday things, like going in the bathtub, reading a good book, watching a good movie, spending time with my partner, with my cat, with my friends. Obviously, these are the good things. But then also sometimes, if you have that really good day at work, that can be really rewarding as well. So these are the things I want to focus on next year, and I think that won't be too difficult. But it's just nice to have a thought in the morning about one thing you really liked about the last day. I could also see going through this that in the times that were hard, especially after my cat died, that my notes were very short, usually just one word, or maybe sometimes even none at all. That was, I don't know, I just tried to keep up with it, but sometimes it just didn't work out. I had like 3-4 days where I didn't write anything down. And then when I got better again at the end of the year now, right before I get stressed for December, I wrote like pretty long things and like little comments and stuff like that. So that way you can also see where your mindset is. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know some of your favorite memories down below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!